How do you feel you connect with your fans or anybody in general through your music? Because your music is astoundingly emotive, and it's nothing less than that.
Well, it's a very difficult question, and basically we just make the kind of music we love, and so it's all very honest music. There's nothing forced there. We don't try to please anyone else but ourselves. Do exactly what we want, and I think that's kind of the key for our success, that people somehow they find the integrity there and the honesty, and we're really doing this for the music. That's the way people find something from our lyrics, and they somehow get connected to our music. But
do you write yourself into your music, or is it just inspiration you see from other people's emotional journeys?
I'm more work on a more universal level when I write lyrics, not so much out of my own life or my own experience. Of course, it helps that you have some life experience. You're not 16 anymore. It's easier to write lyrics that people can relate to. But I know Ville, who's the other one who writes lyrics, he uses more his own personal experience, personal life. So in that way, we work a bit differently.
Was there a time where you guys decided to write in English versus writing in your native tongue, or was that just something you thought would be more universal?
I think it was natural right from the start. Actually, at that point, there were no Finnish singing heavy metal bands at all in Finland. Now there are, but at the time...
Heavy Source? Just kidding.
Yeah, Heavy Source, yeah. But serious bands also singing in Finnish. But in 90s, it wasn't the case. There were no Finnish bands singing in Finnish, so it was natural to pick English.
Is there a message you're trying to send through your music, or does it just kind of flow naturally for you guys?
Flow naturally. No hidden messages or anything. We don't try to force any hidden agenda or anything. We just do good music. That's our thing.
Do you try on purpose to make people sad? Because your music is very sad sometimes.
No, but personally, I like. It helps me to listen to sad music, and when I'm in a good mood, I still want to listen to sad music. And I know that many of our fans feel the same way. I'm really irritated by overly happy music. It just doesn't fit me at all. I'll get very good mood when I listen to sad music.
Because when the new album came out and I had to do a review for it for the station, I had just broken up with my boyfriend, so I was like, this is not a good time to review this album.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, and of course it's good if people feel it strongly.
But the music is also strong. It's not sad in a feminine way. It's not sad in a mopey. Like, you guys aren't strong about what you do. You're very, very strong in your music. And it's very in your face, but it also touches your heart, which is, I think, what makes you guys so captivating for me, anyways.
I think you described it pretty well. That's what we want to do, try to do, yes.
So then, melodic death metal. How do you think growing up in Europe makes your sound different from, let's say, the homegrown American Florida death metal?
Well, our biggest influences when we started the band, I think all the bands were from Scandinavia. Swedish bands, Finnish bands, some Norwegian bands. So clearly we are part of the Scandinavian death metal scene. And there is a difference between US melodic death metal and Scandinavian. It's hard to describe it, but it's in there, in the feeling and in the melodies, and there is a difference there. But many times people tell us that we sound really Finnish. Also in Finland we get this a lot, that you sound clearly Finnish tunes and melodies. It couldn't have happened anywhere else, this kind of music.
And how do you feel about that? Does that make you proud? Does it give you a sense of accomplishment?
Well, I think it's a good thing. We sound like a Finnish band, and not some band that would like to try to emulate the American sound or something like that. We're Finnish guys doing Finnish music.
And your sound is extremely unique, and it pairs very well with the tour that you're on this time around. Last time you were here, you were with Ailstorm, so it's like you get sad, and then you have to get so drunk and do a dance circle. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's totally different. Yeah. So yeah, with Dark Tranquility, it's a great fit. Like,
it's perfect weather outside too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, perfect and perfect. Well, maybe for
this
mood,
tour, yes.
Yeah. But I would enjoy more like August or something.
And then, are there any non-musical genres, literature, art, anything that inspires you?
Yeah, of course. I read a lot. I like to write. Actually, I've won some short story contests in Finland, so it's kind of my other thing besides music is writing. Of course, when I start writing the lyrics for the new album, I always try to read a lot of poetry in English, so get some ideas and get the inspiration going. And but of course, you can get inspiration from movies or comics or your life experience or whatever. But basically, like, music and books are my thing, and of course the movies. But
do you have a favorite book or author?
Many books, but probably the most influential is The Lord of the Rings. I read it when I was 8 years old for the first time.
How do you feel about the movies?
Lord of the Rings movies are great, yes, but the Hobbit movies, I was kind of disappointed.
The last one, third one, I wasn't too happy because there was a lot of action.
Too much.
But it was weak when when people are headbutting other people. It's almost like you're just laying your head on their shoulder.
Yeah. I was disappointed with the Hobbit movies. I enjoyed the second one the best because Smaug was very well done.
Did you see any of them in 3D?
Yes, all of them. Yeah.
I saw the last one in IMAX 3D, and it was amazing. Like, the snow was falling on your face.
Well, yeah, like that it could be even better, but like just like movies, they were kind of weak. But the Lord of the Rings trilogy is very good film also.
And then I've always been wondering this, and I don't mean to sound rude or forward, but when you're writing lyrics in English, do you check with native speakers on grammar and connotation, like what words mean and how, like there's a dictionary definition and then you say a word and it brings to mind something else.
Yeah.
I would think growing up or living in Finland, you'd have different emotive connections to words than you would here.
Yeah. But we have never used like someone, a native speaker, who would read them through and comment. We have never done that actually. So.
Because there's sometimes when I listen to Winter Sun, like Yari, probably should have double checked.
Not gonna comment on someone else's, but yeah, you might have.
But it almost gives it that, like, for native speakers and anybody in America listening to your music, it almost gives it a sense of, I can connect to this, but I also can connect with where they're coming from, because it's not pure and it's not, where I'm from. I can feel where they're coming from. Yeah. Those little mistakes here and there.
Hopefully it's good. It's a good thing. Some little mistakes there. Yeah.
I think so. And then I'm sure you get asked this all the time, but with Omnium Gatherum, how do you feel about their nickname that people give them, Insomnium Gatherum? Does that bother you?
No. It's a funny thing, and I think people use it mostly when we are together. So if we're on the same tour, that people say, okay, Insomnium Gatherum is performing here today. It's only a funny thing. The bands were formed at the same time. I think we both found the name from a Latin dictionary. So it's funny that later we got together and we tour constantly together. So.
Are there any challenges or complications with having Marcus in both bands?
Yes, of course. Like if we're gonna do in March a tour in Europe with Ensiferum, So they have Insomnium, Omnium Gatherum, Insomnium, all these Latin bands in the same. So Marcus has to play 2 shows every night. And
is that hard on him, or does he like it? Because some people.
Of course, it's hard. But since Insomnium is the headliner, they're not that long sets. But like if we would do a, for example, tour where Insomnium would be the headliner and Omnium Gatherum would be the direct support, then he would have to play like for 2 hours. Or even more.
Is there any cross influence between the bands? Like, does he take something from there and bring it as ideas and vice versa?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, but might be more like on a subconscious level. But clearly when he writes new songs and new stuff, he tries to think, would this fit better on Omnium or Insomnium? So.
Are you afraid of ever sounding the same?
No. I think they have their own thing, and we have our own thing, and when Marcus joined the band, he quite well adapted the Insomnium like vibe when he wrote music for Insomnium. It sounds like Insomnium. Because you hear something fresh, new there because there's a new guy, but then there's a fine balance, and I'm sure that someone outside metal scene would think that okay, these bands are just the same, but I think there is a difference there.
So then the new album, what's the reception been like? Are you happy and proud?
I'm very happy and proud, and we've achieved a lot with this album already, and we were number 2 on Finnish charts.
Who is number 1?
Some Finnish artists you wouldn't know.
How do you know?
Kai ja Ko.
Oh yeah, they're my favorite.
Your favorite, yeah. And in Germany we were number 18 on the official chart. That's very good also for a Finnish band. And like the only foreign artists above us were like Jojo and Damon Albarn and stuff like that. So really good band. So we've already achieved a lot with this album. Now these tours have been really good. We did a headlining tour in Europe. It was way better than what we expected. This is going really well. So we're already planning another US tour for next autumn because it's going so well.
Are you gonna headline, or can you not say?
I cannot say, but I hope that we can do a headline tour.
What if I asked you enough?
I hope that we can do a headlining tour. It's in the works, but.
Do you obviously would like that better? Are there times where you prefer not to be a headliner, or is it more convenient to be a supporting?
It depends. Like if you get a really good support slot, it can be like a better way to progress your career and get new fans. But at the same time, it should be a good move to establish yourself as a headlining band. So yes. There's always a tough decision to make, but either it's a headlining tour or then really good support tour.
Is there anything that you guys have turned down because it may not get you traction?
Yes.
Is it hard to play over here with the visas and?
It's of course much more difficult than Europe. You just go everywhere. You don't need even to show your passport.
We're locked in. You have to have your passport for Canada now. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, but it's worth all the hassle coming here. It's always been good, and we enjoyed it a lot. And especially when we see that we're progressing here, we're getting new fans all the time. So getting the visas, okay. Flying here, it's a bit more expensive than in Europe. But.
And it's hard to get Cleveland fans. I've seen it especially. They can't get captivated by something, but every time that you guys have been here, I've seen people react so positively towards your music. Does it feel good to play in places that the fans are hard to reach and then you reach them? Is that an accomplishment?
Yeah, it always feels really good, especially when you're support band, and most of the people probably haven't even heard you before. When we start playing, they're like, "Oh, what is this now?" And by the end of the
why am I crying right now?
But by the end of the set, they're all like, "Yeah!" So that's like the best thing you can achieve. Like you won the audience. They didn't know you before, but now everybody likes you. That's of course the best way to get new fans.
Now, are there any songs that you would never want to listen to again, ever in your life? What's one song that you could live without?
Any song.
Any song, not yours, any
Not
song.
I don't know. There's so much bad music to avoid in the world. Probably something Nickelback. Sorry, Canadian.
Now, is there a song that you could listen to every day and never get sick of?
There's so many good songs also in the world, but what could I say here? This is too difficult. There's so many good songs. Something
Iron Maiden? That's my favorite.
or something, I don't know, Van Halen or Jump gets you going. You have to go to work and you really don't feel like you put Van Halen record in the morning in the car. Yeah, yes, let's go. That's where it goes.
And to close, because I don't think we have very much time left, what is a question that you've never been asked, but you've always wanted to answer in an interview? Like, is there something that you really wish somebody would ask you about, something that's important to you, about your group, or about yourself, that you want to share with people?
Very difficult.
It's not straightforward, I know that.
Yeah. I'm not inventing any right.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
That's too difficult. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.